Final Fantasy VII. Ultra-detailed month-by-month development timeline. 1994. Conceptual origins. Post-Final Fantasy VI. January 1994. Square leadership begins informal discussions for the next flagship Final Fantasy following Final Fantasy VI. Hironobu Sakaguchi steps back from hands-on directing duties, planning a producer-only role. February 1994. Early brainstorming centers on Life as a thematic successor to Final Fantasy VI. The next title is internally labeled FF7 for scheduling purposes. March 1994. Yoshinori Kitase is identified as a core creative lead candidate. Team assumes continuation on 2D hardware is the safest option. April 1994. 1994. Initial planning targets the Super Nintendo Entertainment System. A rough schedule is drafted around cartridge limitations. May 1994. Designers explore how to push sprite animation further than Final Fantasy VI. Memory constraints already appear problematic. June 1994. Very early 2D prototype production begins. Combat concepts remain close to FF5-6 systems. July 1994. Scenario discussions introduce early forms of the Lifestream idea. Sakaguchi drafts a modern-era concept set in New York City, 1999. August 1994. Internal concern grows about the industry's shift toward 3D gaming. The SNES direction begins to feel outdated. September 1994. Team reallocates resources to help finish Chrono Trigger. FF7 development is temporarily paused. October 1994. FF7 team reduced to a skeleton planning group. Hardware research into next-generation consoles begins quietly. November 1994. Early technical tests of polygon rendering are conducted internally. Softimage 3D is evaluated. December 1994. Square leadership agrees FF7 must evolve beyond SNES to stay relevant. 1995. The 3D Gamble and Platform War. January 1995. Chrono Trigger nears completion. FF7 discussions officially resume. February 1995. Debate begins. 2D or 3D? Safety versus 3D risk. Team acknowledges radical workflow changes will be required. March 1995. Hardware candidates evaluated. Nintendo 64, PlayStation, Sega Saturn, Microsoft Windows PC. April 1995. Square produces a 3D tech demo using Final Fantasy VI assets. Demo strongly impresses management. May 1995. Cartridge storage costs on Nintendo 64 become a major concern. Audience accessibility becomes a financial priority. June 1995. Nintendo 64 test builds begin using early 64DD assumptions. Behemoth Monster Test cripples frame rate due to polygon load. July 1995. Engineers calculate FF7 would require 30 64DD discs. Confidence in Nintendo hardware collapses. August 1995. Square formally commits FF7 to PlayStation CD-ROM. All other internal projects are quietly redirected as well. September 1995. Team expands rapidly. Investment begins in Silicon Graphics Onyx workstations. October 1995. Final decision. Fully 3D characters, not sprites. Influence cited from Alone in the Dark. November 1995. Tetsuya Nomura appointed main character designer. Yusuke Niora becomes art director. December 1995. FF7 is officially one of the most expensive game projects ever planned. Developers. 1996. Full production and announcement. January 1996. Full production begins. Square splits development between Japan and Los Angeles. February 1996. Final Fantasy VII officially announced. Confidence high in Japanese market reception. March 1996. Kazushige Nojima joins the project. Original SNES plot is discarded entirely. April 1996. Cloud Strife finalized as central protagonist. Sephiroth reframed as narrative focal antagonist. May 1996. Avalanche and Shinra conceived as ideological opposites. Zack introduced as a hidden narrative pillar. 1996. Battle system finalized. Materia system proposed by Sakaguchi. Limit breaks designed by Nomura. July 1996. Camera-driven cinematic storytelling emphasized. Pre-rendered backgrounds become standard. August 1996. FMV production begins at Visual Works. Western film talent contributes. September 1996. Tokyo Game Show demo released. Square's preview extra. FF7. Sig Grath 95 works. October 1996. Aerith's death is finalized in the script. Tifa, created to balance emotional structure. November 1996. Optional characters Vincent and Yuffie nearly cut. Retained as side content due to time constraints. December 1996. Original 1996 release window abandoned. Game delayed to ensure vision is fully realized. 1997 completion and release. January 1997. Debugging and final balancing. Localization work intensifies internally. January 31st, 1997. Final Fantasy VII launches in Japan. Immediate commercial and critical success. February-June 1997. International version improvements begin. Enemy balance, UI changes, added cutscenes planned. July 1997. Massive Western marketing campaign coordinated with Sony. September 7, 1997. North American release. November 17, 1997. European release. First Final Fantasy in the region. October 2, 1997. Final Fantasy VII International, released in Japan. Legacy impact. Defined cinematic JRPG presentation. Cemented Square's global dominance. Directly led to Square's PC strategy. Stronger localization pipelines. The creation of the FFZ7 compilation and remake. Project P.XR. HRP. Next timeline will be an N64 game.